go. The meeting is being recorded. I will be sharing a couple of things we did in the last class, just briefly touching on them. Then we move to what we have for today. We still have quite a long distance to cover, and we will do well to move as fast as possible this time around. So once again, you are welcome to our weekly data class under the series called Discovery for People Managers. And we will need to speed up as much as possible today to cover more ground. Yeah, this is my slide. We started right from here. Yep. So we've had a discussion around the modules we are covering, about 10 of them, starting from data, project itself, getting data, preparing, cleaning, and what have you, up to ethics and bias in data, then basic data analytics projects. Then we ventured into module 1 like 3 classes ago, in which we were able to cover all of these. We're done with module 1, and the highlight of module 1 gave us this insight into the 6 basic processes that an average data analyst must necessarily conduct over any data set he or she wishes to analyze. Then thereafter, we move to module 2, and right in module 2, we started dealing with gathering of data and investigating the data, this time around using Excel basically. And as previously mentioned, we intend to move into the use of SQL and equally see how we can lay our hands on Tableau in this same curriculum we are following. And in the last class, we were able to do some basic things, starting from opening a workbook, naming a workbook, creating worksheet, naming a worksheet, creating columns, creating rows, formatting rows, and what have you, and doing a few things around those formatting. So we did what Excel was, why exactly was Excel important, and some of those basic things I've just mentioned in terms of the columns and the rows, what an average cell is, what an active cell is rather, and how do you reference a cell or see what is inside a cell vis-a-vis that cell content and the formula bar, which is directly on top of it. Then we were equally able to deal with some data sources, especially in the use of Kaggle, to access data for any particular problem we want to solve using data analysis. And we went through a few steps needed to sign up with Kaggle and to go straight to where data sets are located in Kaggle. So we work with cell rows, columns, then we were almost touching on managing worksheets before we realized time was gone in the last class. So we quickly deal with managing worksheets today and move straight away into what we prepared for today itself, which is some further calculations using Excel formulas and functions. So we differentiate between what a formula is and what a function is in Excel. So yeah, we've done this, we've done this, we've done this, we've done this. Yep, we've done this. So yeah, managing Excel worksheet, this was where we stopped the last class. So how do we manage an average Excel worksheet? It is expected that you are able to manage your sheets, and as shown in the class, you can have as many worksheet as possible on a workbook. For instance, I'm on a workbook named data cleaning sample data, as you can see right here on the topmost bar of the sheet. That is where the name of the workbook appears. Then worksheet is the current sheet that is being displayed on the canvas, and you can see the name of the sheet right at the taskbar here. Just slightly above the taskbar here, where the workbook worksheet is being named and listed. So we did all of this in the last class. Then other things we needed to do with a few data. You can just quickly enter this when you are going through this to practice or to reflect on yourself. You can just quickly input this data, and we want to see how do you quickly identify or select out what your uh, data header is. For instance, somebody will want to ticking up this or bolding this, one step is to select the very first cell, which is, let's say, B47 and being active, and you drag it right towards your right and ensuring everything is highlighted. Then you Control B, or let me undo instead of Control B, using Control B, I can undo. Then you come up here at the toolbar and select this B to bold it. But if you have a very large sheet and the subject header you want to do is quite large, and it's even, let's say, it's starting from column A, even beyond column Z, maybe going to say 30 or 40 columns. So how do you select those columns alone with the header and bolding them? So just put your cursor right on the very first one. In this case, I'm having the very first one in column B. So put your cursor there and do Control Shift right arrow. It will select all of them. If there are more than this, for instance, let me copy the whole of that. I can repeat it twice, or I can repeat it 3 times. So the moment I come to the very first one here, and I do Control Shift right arrow, it will select all of them, even if they are 1,000 to the right. Control Shift right arrow, we trace it down to the very last one without necessarily selecting all the thousands of columns that an average Excel worksheet has. Don't forget, we said in the last class that Excel has over 16,000 columns on a single worksheet and over 1,000,000 rows on a single worksheet. So now imagine you have up to, let's say, 200 columns. How do you start selecting and dragging and dragging and dragging this way, dragging till you get to the 200th one? That is quite uh, energy sapping and energy consuming, and it's just too manual and a bit non-professional. So what you need to do is just make the very first cell of that header, make it the active cell by just clicking on it. The moment you do that, then do your Control Shift right arrow, the entire column header is selected. So whatever you want to do with it now, okay, you want to italicize it, you can pick this one right here. You want to underline it, you can pick U. Italicize, you can pick high. You want to bolden it, you can pick B. So you can either do Control B or undo Control high to italicize all of them, undo, or you do Control U. Those are shortcuts to pick all of these same tools right at the toolbar. So let me undo that and leave it the way it is. So if I want to also format the content of this small table as it is here, let me just enlarge this column a bit. I want to format the content. For instance, the content of this column C carrying product category, I can just select it this way. Don't let me do this first. Let me say I want to select the entire column and I want to centralize it. So I select it this way, then come up here to the toolbar and press this middle alignment button. It will put it in the middle. But this formatting tool has been applied to this entire column C. meaning that any other thing I write in any other cell, as long as it falls in column C, it will be middle aligned or it will be center aligned this way. Instead of it to start from the far left, it will rather be starting from the middle. Can you see? Because while I was trying to format the content of product category and I had only just 3 items there, I formatted the entire column. So any other thing I'm entering in that same column later on will be following that formatting style applied. And I may not actually need that particular formatting for subsequent element I want to introduce in that column. In that wise, what do I do? Just select the content of column C that I actually want to either center align, left align, or right align, then apply the appropriate alignment preference to it. In this case, it's still center align. So let me undo the alignment, the central alignment of the entire column by selecting it and doing undo this way. It goes back. Then I go ahead and just select the content I want to center align alone and press the center alignment and it appears that way. So if I come later on and enter anything in this column C and just move away from it, you can see it is default left align. Text generally in Excel worksheets or in Excel cells are left aligned by default, but numbers are by default right aligned. So anytime you enter number, it is by default right aligned. Can you see? I put 9 there, I put 8 or 83. It will automatically right align itself unless I want to make it to act in another way by deliberately formatting it either to the middle or to the far left. But as long as it is number, it is by default right align. And as long as there are letters there are letters, they are by default left aligned. So despite the fact that other letters in this same column C, bikes, clothing, and accessory have been center aligned by the formatting I apply to it, other things that are equally letter that I put after it still goes back to the default because I didn't apply the formatting to the entire column. This is very important to take note. So that's being said, I can equally come here. Let me say I remove what is being here. Where is my currency? I can change the currency, maybe from pounds to dollars or to whatever currency you want. In the same way, if I had gone ahead to apply the currency to the entire column. So what it means is that other things I'll be entering here, let's say any number, will follow that currency alignment. Can you see automatically it applies that particular pound sterling stuff right there. But if I decided not to do that and just go ahead and say, okay, everything here I want to delete, then I also want to undo that, such that I have the whole of that going away good. So if I have this bag, escape, and I decided just to do this and just put this time around, let me use dollars. I have the dollars there, and it's because those items alone are dollarized, if there is any word like that. So if I come here and put any other one, it's still affecting the entire column. So it means the entire column was initially supposed to be that. Let me reformat that, then that can be removed. Okay. Shift plus, I can just have you 837 168 34 Did you? This time around, this column is free from that previous formatting. If I have this and I have this, Excel is automatically bringing it back. Okay, undo, but that's exactly how to apply just the formatting you want to the items in the content of the column that you want without necessarily using it for the entire column, just for the items in that particular content. I mean, is that in that particular column. So next thing is, so for today, we've done the naming and the entering of data, then formatting them into product category, order quantity, revenue, and changing the value of those columns and applying the right currency name. So today, we are moving straight to basic concepts or basic Excel concepts and features. And they are divided into two parts. We'll be doing basic formatting using some function, and we'll be doing applying the use of maximum, minimum, and average functions alongside. So to do this, if we go ahead to figure out how many ways can we make Excel to do calculations, and they come in two ways, as that topic has said. We have what we call Excel formulas, and we did a bit of this in the last class. Excel formulas, and we have what we call Excel functions. So in this way, what exactly is the difference between Excel formulas and function? For instance, let's say we want to calculate the, we did for rectangle the last class. Let's do for height, base. Let's say this is probably 34. Let's say the base maybe 25, and you want to calculate the area of this triangle. So you are trying to impute a formula, and by that you come with your own predetermined formula arrangement and enter it into it, because it's going to lead into calculation. The very first thing you must do, since it is being done manually, is to introduce your equal to sign. And the moment you put equal to, the area of a triangle is half base times height, isn't it? So in that wise, you are saying 1 divided by 2, which is half. To introduce multiplication sign, this is you go ahead and pick your asterisk sign in Excel. So we have our half times base. This time around, base is this. The moment you click it, you have a flipping broken dashed lines all around. Then you go ahead again to introduce multiplication sign again. This way, you pick the second one. Let's see, by the time you apply this, 425. Let's assume that this is correct, but you need to figure it out if it's truly correct. If we say half base times height, so let's first say this is equals to this guy multiplied by this guy. Let's say the multiplication of both of them gives me this. And in doing that, let me now come here and say this is equal to this guy divided by 2. Let me see what I will have. Can we see now? It appears to be the same thing. Let me cross-check it again to be sure we don't need to introduce any brackets. So let me say I want to do half. This is equals to 1 all over 2 multiply by this. That gives me something. Then let me say this one is now equals to this. After doing the half base equals to this, which is the half base, multiply by the height, which is that. Okay, so it means all of them gives me same thing, and I can leave it that way. So there is no error in that formula, and Excel has done that calculation for me by just introducing what is necessary and what should be done. In the same way, for instance, I can have, say, um, this is equals to 2 plus 1. The moment you have introduced equal to sign, Excel has begun to do calculation internally already. And the moment you hit your enter key, it gives you straight away the value of what you have entered. That is what we call formula. You write formula, but before you begin the writing of the formula, you first put your equal to sign. Every other thing you write thereafter, Excel calculates it for you accurately. Those have formulas in Excel. But aside formulas, there are some other things we call functions. Functions are similar to formulas, only that they have already been predefined inside Excel. They are built in into Excel, and Excel you just go ahead and pick those existing built-in functions inside Excel. They are formulas on their own, but they are already built in into Excel. You just go ahead and pick it out. Let me just try and give us another example again so that we can see clearly on that. So let's pick from cell A1, like I've already done. We introduce one to one, then we put in that one there. So it gives you the results as 2 straight away. Then we can do for A2, 4 minus 2, then A3, 2 times 4. I can remove this. Let me go back to A1, or better still, I can create a new sheet. Let me make it big so that we can see. A1, 1 plus 1. The moment you do that, just press enter. Sorry, you can see that does not go. Why? Because I did not introduce equal to sign first. Equal to 1 plus 1, it gives you that. Then A2, I want to do 4 minus 2, then 2 times 4. So in A2, I say equal to 4 minus 2. In A3, I want to do equals to 4 times 2. I can copy all this guy, cut all of them, and put it where I want it to be, just hop there. And it should give you what exactly you want. The first one is 1 plus 1. Instead of you seeing that 1 plus 1, because I had previously introduced equal to sign and pressed enter, Excel does not show what led to this again. It just gives the result straight. If you want to know what led to what you are seeing in the cell, then you can check the formula bar just as we are seeing here. It gives you what the content is. And same thing goes for A2, same thing goes for H3. So when you click on a cell that contains formula this way, and it's as if Excel is trying to make some calculation, because the moment you move away from an active cell that contains a formula to another cell that also contains a formula, or if not containing a formula, so long the previous one contains a formula, Excel assumes that you want to alter or adjust that particular formula. So any other place you move away to from that place, it will think you want to do something on that new cell, and it will give you this flashing broken line around that place. So anytime you have something like this, you can just quickly get out of it by pressing your escape button on the keyboard so that it goes back to the right thing. So we are going somewhere. Wow, time is running again. So we've gotten that. And the next thing is, let's say we also go to A4. And what do we do in A4? We want to do, so that we can be faster. So in A4, we quickly want to do equals to 6 divided by 2. Also press enter. And by entering that, it gives you what exactly the sign is for it. So the next one, we want to also see, do we want to enter another value in A1 and another value in B1 and probably another value in C1. Then in say, for instance, in C1, you want to enter a formula called maybe A1 plus B1 and press enter. For instance, let me go ahead and do Control Shift plus increasing that forward. And now in cell A1, I want to enter value 4. And in B1, I want to enter value 2. Don't forget how I said we are to understand how the cell, or yes, cell name is given. You go by the column against the row. So when I say A1, it means I'm in row A. I'm in column A, row 1. If I say B1, I'm in column B, row 1. And that's how that works out. So I've put value 4 in A1 and I've put value 2 in B1. Then in C1, I want to put something there again. Let me get this one, move it a bit forward. So in C1, I want to enter a value called, let's say, to add those two, I do this equals to cell A1. I can write it by saying A1 plus B1. But I can equally say, it has added it straight away. Let me delete that. I can equally say equals to, press this, then I introduce plus sign, then I press this second one. It will pick both of them automatically. So I can write the input or go ahead and pick them where they are automatically. And this time around, by pressing enter, it will give me the final result. So what are we trying to do here? We are doing what we call cell referencing. Cell referencing in the sense that what I have here as 4 and 2, I could just have probably say that, okay, cell C is to add 4 and 2 together by saying cell C3 equals to 4 plus 2, and it will give me the 6. But instead of putting that formula equals to 4 plus 2, I already have 4 somewhere in my worksheet, and it's located in A1. And I also have 2 somewhere in my worksheet, and it's located in B1. So instead of writing those two items anew or afresh, since I have them somewhere, I can reference them. And that's what Excel calls cell referencing. How do I do the referencing? I want it to come here. I just go to where I want the final result to be. I put my equal sign. I go to where that 4 is. I need 4. I press it, then input a plus sign. Go to where your 2 is. Also press it. Both of them are appearing now. Now it's appearing as A1 and B1, but the value in A1 is what it will use for calculation eventually, and the value of B1 is what Excel will use in calculation. How do you know? Just press enter. A1 and B1 will disappear, and it just gives you what the addition is, and that is 6. So that is what we call cell referencing, and that has already given us what we need in C1. So we can do more. Just go to A2, B2, and impute all of these predetermined numbers, and we want to come up with another set of calculations. So we have A2, B2, A3, B3, then we have 4, 2, and 4, 2, and 4, 2. Okay. Let me expand. So I can get this guy as far left as possible. I can delete this guy. Yep. So A2, B2, I have 4, 2. Then A3, B3, 4, 2. So I have 4, 2 here too. It could be anything anyway. Yes, A4, B4, 4, 2 also. Then that is all what we need. So in cell C2, let's do subtraction, multiplication, and division. So C2 can now be, I want to subtract, let's say I want to subtract B from A. So we have cell A2 minus cell B2, and I press enter. I have my results. Here I have equals to cell A3 multiplied by cell B3. I press enter. Then here I have equals to cell A4 divided by cell B4. I press enter, and straight away I have my result. So this one is having the value of the reference cells that we got initially. So these are the initial set of cells A and B, and they were referenced on column C, and we got the results that we actually need. Okay, so next thing is to okay, what do I want us to do here? Together values in tree using referencing. Write a formula that could be used to add together values in A10, A11, A12 using cell referencing. Okay, so let's say we have A10, A11, A12. Let's just put some value here. We can just put 4, 5, 9. And we want to add all these three values in this place. Let's say I want to add the final value to be here in E8. So what do? I just put my equals to, I want to add this guy. Then you put your plus sign. I want to add this guy. You add your plus sign again. Then I want to add this guy. Press your enter. You have the total coming down here. And you can pull it out to any place that you want. So you can reference any part of your worksheet, even beyond the current worksheet you are on. You can even bring value from any existing sheet that you have on this workbook, and it's going to still work exactly the same way. Okay, so that's for the referencing. Any other one? Now, next is to do adding a new column. Now, we've had column A, B, C, and let's see, can we add a new column to that particular sheet? You remember what we did in last class? Just select this particular column and do Control Shift plus, then a new column is created. Or better still, let me undo. Just select that column A and come here to your toolbar and pick insertion of column. Insert new column, it will give you same as this. So this time around, we want to input some items there. So A1, A2, A3, and A4 that we now have. We want to put addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So let's go. See. Okay, that is done. Next, so we have added a new column already, and you will see what happened now. Previously, before we added the column, we were on this particular column, which was formerly column C. And what we had then was addition of A and B together. But because we created a new column, Excel has inherently changed that formula by responding to the new changes we have made to the worksheets. Let me explain that again for us to understand. Let me undo this column I added so that we could get the importance of what I'm trying to say. I've done some undoing, so it's back to what we had before. Don't forget what is here. In this column C is just addition of what we have in column A and column B. You can see this column C1 equals to A1 plus B1. Column C2 equals to A2 minus B2. This column C3 equals to A3 multiplied by B3. And column C4 equals to A4 divided by B4. This was the default formula we entered in there. Immediately, I introduce a new column. Column C initially became column D, and column B would become column C. While column A would change to column B to give room for the new empty column I'm about to create. And immediately that is done, the formula in here, instead of having A1 plus B1, will necessarily change from A1 plus B1 to B1 plus C1. And let's see how that will go. It is A1 plus B1. Let me create, the moment I create a new column, it will change from A1 plus B1 to B1 plus C1 because A1 has already been shifted. So Control Shift plus give me the new column. Let's now check this formula again. Can you see? It is now B1 plus C1 because a new column has just been added, and all the formulas in here too will respond to that column changes in terms of the column name because the column has changed by the inclusion of the new column we just did. Okay. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. So I can expand this guy here to be fine. Yeah. So that shows to us that's what we want to achieve in that particular area. Then what next? So we can now do some mathematical operations. So I've already done the addition of those new items for column A that was newly created. So what else do we want to do? We want to introduce a new row, just like we just introduced a new column. Now, to introduce a new row, you remember what we did in last class? We can do it two ways, either by using the shortcuts I used just now on your keyboard, or you can just select the very first header on the sheet and go to your toolbar and bring in a new row right inside it. So when we have the new row, we want to name them this way. In cell A1, we want to put math operation. B1, we want to put variable A. C1 want to put variable B, then D1 want to put result. So let's see. We are trying to do this to just see how to create a table which represents a data set. So I want to introduce a new column. I come here, select this particular very first one. Then I can come to my toolbar and put insert. You can see it creates a new row for me straight away. So in A1, I want to put in A1 math operation, variable B, variable B, variable B, variable A and B, then results. So I have math underscore operation. Second one, I have variable, variable A. Third one, I have variable B. Then the last one, I have results. So now my table has header and it has another set of column on the far left. Okay, so what else do I want to do on my table? So when I right click that particular sheet one, I can rename it. And just like I did before, I can do this to put this in italics and just to make it show that I'm having some header, and I can choose to thicken this a bit just to show that what is happening here was addition, what is happening here is subtraction, what is happening here is multiplication, and what is happening here is division. And I can rename this sheet as what should I name it with? Let me use the name of that particular thing. Addition of new row. Let me just say simple operation. So to rename a particular sheet, you can right click on it as shown in the last class, right click on it and pick rename. The moment you pick rename, then you can put whatever name you have in mind based on what the content of that particular sheet is. So I can choose to say simple underscore operation. Yep. And that is gone. So we've settled that. We have just a few minutes left. Okay, let's see how we can run a bit. So let's do another thing. We've already added that. We've added that. Yep, we've renamed the color, I mean the worksheet already. Okay, what next? Yeah, basic Excel function. So the 5 basic built-in functions. Now we've already seen the formulas. So let's see the functions. So I can go ahead and say, what are the 5 basic functions we have in Excel? We have quite a lot of them anyway, but there are first 5 that are basic, and they are listed almost directly on your toolbar in Excel and all that and all that. Let me put 5 again. Okay. Do I have 3? Okay, let's say I have 3. So take for instance this side I am here. Yeah, you are free to ask question, please. If you have any question, just go ahead and ask the question, no problem. So take for instance this. I want to show us the 5 basic built-in functions in Excel. The moment I have done this, I've written them out this way. If I want to bring up the basic functions in Excel, they are here right on the toolbar underneath your ribbon. For instance, I put my cursor here and I come down here to where you have auto sum. Click down the arrow. The 5 of them are listed right there that are basic. Those are not the exhaustive list of the function in Excel. It's just the basic. By the time you click this more function, you can see as many as possible, as you can see now. And I can equally go ahead and say I ask Excel to give me the ones I know offhand. If I type proper, there is a function called proper. It will go ahead and give me proper and give you the explanation of what function proper stands for. If I go ahead and say, okay, give me another one, say VLOOKUP, enter, it will bring it out and explain to me what VLOOKUP is and so on and so forth. But the very first 5 basic ones are the ones you want to deal with. And the moment I list out a set of numbers this way, I can just come here underneath. And the moment I come to this auto sum and I press sum, Excel automatically assumes that all the numbers that are above it are to be summed together. And that's exactly what it will do. So the moment I click sum, you can see it's bringing it straight away. It has applied the equal to sign. It has applied the function name. Then it has gone ahead to pick the data needed for that summation operation. And the moment I click enter, it gives me the total value of what that summation is. Instead of going ahead to do that, let's say my toolbar does not work for any reason, I can do same thing manually. It may take a longer time. So all I need to do is, don't forget when I use the auto sum on the toolbar, I didn't have to put equal sign. The reason is because Excel will do that by itself. Excel will not make calculation on its own without putting equal to sign by itself. So because I know Excel is going to apply that, so I didn't need to be putting the equality sign. If I do it, it may even affect Excel from doing its own work. I may not be able to do it. Can you see? Because I put equal to sign there and I come here to pick sum, okay, it takes it up and just give me this. So instead of that, instead of picking from that toolbar, I can equally say, okay, let me delete this. I can write it myself and just put some open brackets. I will just pick the very first one. The moment I pick the very first one, I can introduce colon. Colon in Excel calculation means to. So I've picked the first one where it's to start from, and that is I7. Then I have introduced colon. Colon means to. So I've said from I7 to, I need to pick where it will stop, which is this particular one, column I16. So I click it, column I16, it will put I16 there. Then I can close my brackets and press enter. So the moment I do that, it will give me this. In the same way, that is for auto sum. In the same way, I can leave auto sum and leave that cell active underneath the set of numbers. Then I go straight to the same auto sum. This time around, instead of picking sum, I can pick average. Don't forget, these are the 5 basic functions, and that's why they are listed this way. So instead of picking sum this time around, I'll pick average. Automatically, Excel will bring in the formula, meaning that average from cell I7 to cell I16, and it has written the formula perfectly by itself. All I need to do is to press enter, and it will give me the average of all of these numbers. You can see the average is 5.2. In the same way, instead of going through that route, I can equally say, let me delete it. I just say equal to average. Then I open my brackets. I can either go and pick the starting cell and the ending cell, or I just write their reference name. This time around, it is I7. Pick I7. Then I introduce my colon, which means 2. Then I pick I16, which is the last cell I want this calculation to consider. Then I close my brackets and press enter. It will give me the same result, which is 5.2. I can equally say I want to know, say for instance, sometimes you have a set of numbers that are quite so large and you want to count how many they are. So instead of going through what the numbering is on my left side of this worksheet, I can ask Excel to count all these numbers for me because they can be quite many and they may not be aligned vertically. They may be on horizontal plane like this. Let's say I have 2, 4, 7, 9, 1, 9, like that. And I want to count it. It may be very long. So in counting, I can equally say, okay, pick equal to count bracket open. This time around, I have F6, which is this. It already picks it the moment I type in the uh, cell name. 2, let's say I have K6 this time around, K6, then I close my bracket. You can see Excel has identified that range and it will give me how many they are. So Excel is telling me that on that range I selected, there are 6 cells or 6 number. Can you see? From 257919, there are 6 in number. So in the same way, if I want Excel to go ahead and give me the count of all these numbers vertically, so I can equally say equals to count, open my Excel, my brackets, and give it the range. I want you to count from this place, I've selected it, up to this place, then I close my brackets and press enter. It gives me how many they are. If you check, there are 11, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we've done sum, we've done average, we've done counts. So let's go ahead and do the next two. And here we have maximum. So I can also tell Excel to show me in this list of numbers, mention to me the maximum. All these things, as you are saying, it looks so simple, but when you are dealing with a very large data set and you want to know out of all these 1,000 rows, what is the maximum number in this entire row? It may be very difficult to manually glance through with your eyes and pinpoint the maximum number, but you don't need to do that. Just use the Excel formula. So I can just say, give me the maximum in this number too. Okay, I want to manually write the formula before, but let me pick it from here. Okay, give me the maximum. It will create the formula by itself and close the bracket. All I need to do is to execute it by pressing enter key. So it's telling me that 9 is the maximum number in this range. I can equally say, instead of that, go ahead and give me the minimum number. It will open it this way, and I pick minimum. It brings up the formula. I just execute it. Then you can see it changes to 1, meaning that in this set of numbers, right from this I6 to I16, 1 is the minimum number, and that is correct. So I can equally use my manual method to say mean, bracket open, start it from I6 down to I16, close the bracket, press enter, and I have my 1 still as same as this. So this is a way of moving around the 5 basic functions in Excel. Don't forget, I have been able to show to us that functions are not essentially different from formulas. They are only predefined in Excel. If you do not remember them or if you don't do Excel as it, you can Google it. But if that is taking a long time, you can write the formula yourself, and Excel understands the formula. It will do the calculation for you. So if I don't remember to come here to pick what maximum or average or whatever is, I can just write the formula. Excel will pick it up from there and still execute that particular instruction I have given to it and give me my accurate answer without any issue. Okay, let me see 1 or 2 things we've planned for today. Time is almost gone. What can I pick again from here? So we've done the sum, average, count, max, and mean. We've done, yep, that has been done. Okay, this has equally been done. So we've seen how to use the sum function, and we've seen how to use the average function and all of those function like that. But I can just check again. Can I say, for instance, here in E, let me just say, I want to use the sum function to say sum B2 to D2. Can you see? Except we go ahead and look for B2 and move it across D2. Then I close my brackets and I press enter. It will give me the results. So just by looking at it, 4 plus 2 is 6, 6 plus 6 is 12. And that's exactly what this formula has done here too. Because I just say, go ahead and sum that for me. Instead of using sum, okay, I can come here and say, okay, give me the average of P3, right? Yep. Down to D3, close the brackets and press enter. Can you see? That's the average. And I can choose to say this average, it has too many decimal points or decimal places. They come here, don't forget, you can reduce the decimal places by just pressing this guy. It will reduce it one after the other, and round it off to the nearest. So if I want it to be just one decimal place, I have it that way. I want to increase it, I have it this way. If I want to remove it all together, it will round it off to the nearest whole number. We're coming from 2.6667 down here, but if I get rid of all of this, you get it to the nearest whole number. If I want it to remain in one decimal place, fine, it will do it for me. Okay, so we've done sum for that, we've done average. Okay, I can also say count for me from B4, just like we have there, down to D4. It will count how many items are in those cells and give me the number. Just by merely looking at it, we know it is 3, and that is the exact figure it gives me. So I can equally say, okay, what is the maximum right from B4 down to D4, close that, and have this. Sorry, instead of using, I used B4. I needed to use B5. So you can see, I'm on this row, which is row 5, but the formula I used was referencing row 4, and it picks the accurate information in that row 4. So it's left to me to give it the exact thing I want. So instead of using B4 now, I can go back here and just change it slightly. Okay, I want you to go to B5 and move it up to D5, and I press enter. You can see it gives me the right thing I'm looking for because I want it to consider this particular row. So in considering B4, C4, D4, I'm asking that it should give me the highest number there, and it gives it to me, which is 4. I can equally come here and say, okay, let me say I have 3, 7, 9, and I say, okay, for this particular row, give me the minimum in that particular range. This time around, I have B6 down to D6. Then I close the bracket. It gives me. So in this, among these 3 items, the least of them is simply 3. And that's exactly what we have. So for today, we've spent 60 minutes, and we can draw the curtain at this point. Yeah, there is room for question. Go ahead and ask now.
Yeah, I want to say something.
Yes, please.
Okay, my name is Francis. Okay, today is not actually a question, it's a kind of a comment. And I would say that today's class is good. I I have learned a lot today. At least I'm becoming a bit confident to
Yes,
enter.
in fact, I appreciate that word,
Yes,
confidence. That's
yes,
exactly one of the reasons for this interaction, to build people's confidence towards dealing with data, sharpening their data skills. Yes, please go ahead.
yeah, yeah. I'm becoming a bit confident to enter a cell and do one or two things. At least, if not for any other thing, I have learned 5 basic functions.
Mm,
5 basic functions you can use,
mm,
and where you can get it.
yeah,
Where you can get it. I know that you have other function, but this is the 5 basic ones to
yeah, the five basic
make use of
ones.
it.
Yeah,
Make use of it every day, and how we can use it and solve some problems and other things. I'll say that I'm happy about that, and I'll also say that I have learned about self-referencing.
okay,
Self-referencing, yeah. I've also said that I have learned about self-referencing and other things, which is very good. At least for 2 times I have participated. I would say that I'm grabbing something. I really appreciate you and
Samson. My name is
us.
Samson.
I
Samson.
know, I know. Yeah, I'll say that I really appreciate you and the class, and I still believe that I will still learn more, maybe on my own practicing. And another thing is practicing. When you are practicing some other things you don't know, you can also jot it down. When you come to the class, you can also ask, so you can throw more light on it. I say thank you very
Brilliant.
much. I appreciate
Thank you
that.
so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, any other question or comment, please? Yes, in the absence of no other comment, I want to appreciate everyone for coming and making out time for today's class. The recordings will be shared, and you can try your hands around all of those things we have discussed. Thank you, sir. I have one of my mentor right on this call, so it's a privilege having you, Mr. Shoge, all the way from Canada. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome,
So,
sir.
yes, any other question? No? So if we do not have any other questions, we can call it a day. Thank you so much and enjoy or have a very, very beautiful week ahead. See you next class, same time. Make it a date. If you have people who are equally interested, do not hide this from them. It is free of charge, as we know. So share it to them. Let them also be a partaker or benefit. We'll see again in a week's time. Thank you and have a lovely week. Bye for now.